What's going on, you bunch of heretics? Grab your paint pots, grab your recaf, and let's get some paint on that ever-growing pile of potential. It's faction focus, and of course, we are with our Kroot. Today, we're going to be working on the Kroot War Shaper, new from the Kroot Hunting Pack. Model I've been very much looking forward to getting slap chopped, so yes, let's get it done. Of course, everything you need for this slap chop tutorial will be in the description below. So without further ado, let's get to it. Right then folks, here we have him, the Kroot War Shaper. I've gone with that bow and that crawl type flying dagger with him. I think that looks really cool. Okay, so as you can see, he's all built, ready to go. I have already pre-based him with the Rhinox Hyde. So a couple of thin coats just before it start with that. With this today, we're going to want a collection of our dry brushes. I'm just going to kind of, because it's quite a difficult one to get to a lot of parts, I'm just kind of use the small dry brushes, both the STC and normal. You're going to want a large dry brush just to make sure that you get all the dust off between each layer. With your wet palette, your paper, and your water pot, of course, and of course your morning's worth of painting. So first of all, we're just going to get our Administratum Grey. Just give it a shake up, give it a shake, give it a stir, and we're just going to place that on our brush. And then we're going to take it all off. Okay, plenty off the brush, plenty off, plenty off, plenty off. Little rummage around, and then all we're going to do, like so, nice and lightly, small circles in and around the model, all around the back, all around the tops, all around the cloak, and just starting to build up that very first layer. Okay. So there we have it, our first layer with the Administratum Grey. Remember, all we're going to do with our large dry brush is we're just going to take off any of the sort of excess sort of dust, if you will. It just cleans it up nicely, ready for the next layer. Next one, guys, as always, we're going to place on our Ulthuan Grey. Ulthuan Grey. Again, give your pot a shake up. Grab your paintbrush. Plenty on the top. Okay, and remember, all we're doing, we're not going underneath anything. We're now just starting to pick up all of the raised or the highlighted areas. Okay, so tops of the knees. So basically everywhere where the light is kind of shining, or where there's areas where you want to add a little bit of extra light to, specifically around the head and the face. Don't worry about the armor work because that will get covered with the metallics. But yeah, all we're doing, nice and easy, just where we want the raised areas, where the main head of light is. And we're just going all around the model. No need to go underneath, just over the top. Okay. Next layer done, same again. Just quickly over with the large dry brush. Awesome. And then finally we're going to get our white scar. White scar, Agrax white, makes no odds really too much. And just same again. This is just a very, very quick highlight over the top. And we're just trying to get just where the light is really kind of shining. So straight down, over the face, over the hair, down the scales. Nice. Over the arms, like I say, knees, just where the light is hitting. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to start to apply our paint by numbers slap chop. So we're going to work from light to dark, and first of all, what we're going to do is kind of highlight the bone areas and the lighter areas that will require skeleton horde. Don't forget you want your Lamian medium, which is something I absolutely love. And again, just a small mix of Lamian medium and skeleton horde. I'm using my my medium layer brush, and again lamy medium into the top, skeleton horde, and we're mixing over. When we're placing this, so this is going to go on his sort of like his turtle skin bit, I suppose, if you will. So a couple layers into there. I always just kind of go around the face and around the beak. Again, you want to build up a couple layers. This is very thin. It's very much a very thin paint, so you can build up many layers with this. And then what we want is all of these scales. So these bone things at the back. I don't know what they are. They're quite cool. Yeah, these like bone things at the back. All right. And anywhere else that you think you might want to have this as your colour, but for me, I'm just going to use this as the bones for his like turtle shell bit, and just kind of be messy with it on the face, because you're going to end up blending it anyway with the darker paints. Right, hopefully you can see that I've done a couple of layers on those to kind of give him that initial look, but it all kind of makes sense a bit later on anyway. So with this shaper, I'm going to give him a bit of a different colour skin to his counterparts. I'm going to give him a bit of a Space Wolf grey, a bit more of a bluish look, like he's a bit more weathered. So this is again, same again. We're going to go with Space Wolf's grey. We're going to go with our Lamian medium. Again, just a nice little 50-50 split between the two. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Keeping it loose. Keeping it loose. Getting the paints thin. So again, we're going to apply the skin. So we've got the skin, his head. Be interesting to see how this looks. This is probably going to be a couple of thinned layers of this. Okay, thinned layers. You don't want to do this too thick. All right. So again, we're just going to do thin layers into here. Ooh. And just build all that up. All right. So again, you just start to see the change in the colour. So into his hands, in on the neck, underneath his oh no, not his armour, in his sides, his legs, and his feet. Okay, arms, legs, anywhere where he's got his skin, that's where we're going to start to apply the Space Wolf's grey in that underarm bit there. Alright, so you're going to do a couple of layers of that, just build it all up, but don't go mega thick with this, just nice and loose with him. Alright, just slowly build it all up. Here he is, done a couple of layers on there, and hopefully you can kind of see that initial colour change into his skin. And we will add a bit more depth of that later on. Maybe add maybe a bit of a purple, but we won't do that just yet. We're getting all of our base colours on. Speaking of which, we're going to get our Gor Grunta Fur, and all we're going to do is we're going to start getting all the leather work done now. All right. So as always, Gor Grunta Fur into our mix. You can even go into that previous mix of Skeleton Horde, to be honest with you. That won't really make too much difference. Get your Lamian medium. Yep, in we go. 50-50, nothing wild. Take plenty off, and always say, we're just going to layer up to the legwork, into like these is straps around here. Again, any sort of like leather work that you want, we're just going to use our Gor Grunta Fur. It's such a great base brown to use. I absolutely love this colour. It's just so versatile. It can go on so many things. It can be used as a base layer. It can be used as like a shading element. It's just so versatile. I absolutely love Cygor Brown and Gor Grunta Fur. Just absolute linchpins within this. Like I say, all these areas here and all the bits that you want to make into brown. But yeah, all the leather, all the legwork. And I'm probably also going to do the bow initially. So we're going to start just getting the brown on the bow. Love that bow, it's so cool. Where else are we going to go? Don't worry about the cape just yet. In fact, I tell a lie, we're going to use the scales areas. Just in the scales, we're just going to start to paint in the scales. Again, it's nice and light. Again, the strap around the back, the arrows, the quills, you know, again, all the stuff that you can just see that will just benefit from a very light layer of Gor Grunta Fur. Again, the base, like some of this I'm going to do a different colour. But yeah, so again, like I say, all this strap work here. Alright, like I say, slowly build up that colour to get the effect that you want. Next up, we're going to get the undercoat of the undercoat, these like undercloth. I quite like the red look. So again, lambing medium just into our top right of our corner, and I'm using Blood Angels red for the time being. Blood Angels red. Just take it off there just to control the paint of the brush. And all we're doing just this under part in here, under his front armor work. I think this works really nicely with that sort of blue skin. He's got like a bit of proper older geezer look about him. Yeah, that's nice. Yep. Just place that in there underneath. And then if you want that little back part of the top of his at the top of his neck, like a bit of a cloak in the back of his neck type thing, and work that under part as well. Okay, Blood Angels red, nice and simple, because we'll be going over that with other colours later on. And again, we're just underneath that plating is where we're going to go. Right. Also, while we're here, we might as well add in on this sort of Krull. For those of you that must remember the film Krull, I'm just going to paint his sort of tri-blade handle parts with red. I think it looks quite cool. Yeah, Krull, what a film. It's been a long time since I've seen Krull. If you haven't seen Krull, I massively suggest you watch it. There we go, just in there. Yeah, it looks a little bit pink for the time being, but once we get the Flesh Terrors red in there and the Cygor Brown, that'll kind of change how that looks. Alright. While we've got the red here, we might as well just start putting in that initial layer of Blood Angels red just into the hair, as we have done on all the previous ones. But again, this is just my version for the hair that I quite like, having the red, purple and black. That's just my theme. Obviously you guys can do your own one, but yeah, I just put that in there as well. As you can see, that's all starting to come together quite nicely. Right, for the cloak, we're going to want Flesh Terrors red, Cygor Brown and our Lamian medium. So all we're going to do, we might as well use that old thing that we had before in the red there, just to add that into the mix. Cygor Brown, again, very, very light amount. Okay, that's probably too thick. As you can see there, that's too heavy. So this is for the cape, so we want to give it a bit of a red hue. Okay, a bit of a red hue. There we go, that's better. And then, like I say, lambing medium in there, just to mix it up a little bit. Perfect. So lambing medium, Flesh Terrors red, and Cygor Brown. And all we're doing now, we're just going to start to paint in the cloak. Don't worry, we will be adding a bit of Cygor Brown into this later on to make it darker, but this is going to go into the whole cloak. Just mind the spikes. Yeah, just mind like the spikes. Okay, just nice work into the bottom. If you do get it on there, do you know what? I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world, because we'll be, when we apply the dry brush over anyway, it will just take it away. Alright, but all we're doing, like I say, all of the cape, both sides with this. Okay. Again, you can do whatever colour you want. but for me I just quite like this reddish hue, and then we will add a layer of Cygor Brown just to wash over it, just to kind of give it that richer colour. Alright, so it's quite a rich browny red that we're applying it in. Hopefully you can see that coming together quite nicely, and again, you know, onto the back part here, and then into the inside of his cloak. Alright, popping that in there. So again, like I say, this will, all we're doing at the moment, we're just getting on those base colours, and it will all make sense. Right, so now we've got pretty much all of our base colours on, it's time to start adding in those shaded elements. As you can see, there's the cape all kind of done. Cape all done, skin looking really good, hair's all on there on point, but don't worry, we'll go back over that with our other colours, our purple and the black. So yeah, so first of all, really, it's kind of the time for, we're going to get, oh, where is it? Oh, didn't even have this prepared. One idiot. But what I want is my Snakebite Leather. Snakebite Leather is what I'm going to place all over the spikes of this guy. And again, what's great about this is it will just sit nicely, and it will just break everything up. So on the cloak, all we're doing is just down all these spikes, and if it gets in other places, it doesn't matter. It's a really nice colour. It's just going to break everything down. Oh. So we'll add those in there like so. It just gives it, that will just sit nicely in those recesses, those little spiky bits, and they look great. And then in the spiky bits that we added up here, and then to the spiky bits around here, probably a little bit into his stomach, and we're going to put it again into the sort of beak of the murder chicken. Alright, again, spikes along up here, again just a little bit to add that in, and there we are. That's that first part done nicely. The next part, this is where Cygor Brown is going to do it's almost like the Agrax, it's the Agrax Earthshade of the contrast world, is old Cygor Brown. It's such a great colour. But again, we need to make sure that we really, really just thin this down, you know, to make sure that it's not too thick. Because if you go too thick with this, my goodness, it gets everywhere. So in there, we're just going to start to work on some of the leather work to start to break up some of this. And again, just over any areas that you want darkening, especially in the reds, in the cape, all around all these kind of like mounds and molds. And again, you know, into the cape, into the recesses of the cape, just start applying that thinned down Cygor Brown. But with this is where we're now going into all of the reds and the neutral colours. So in the leather work, just getting in all the recess parts. Just filling in those areas, into the bow. Again, it's just nice and light, just moving the paint around into the sort of shadows, breaking it up. But again, make sure it's nice and thin. If it's too thick, you'll lose the underpaint. So you'll lose like the Cygor Brown, you'll lose that Flesh Terrors and Blood Angels red. Okay, and it will just end up just looking like just Cygor Brown, all really heavy. And again, just inside here. Okay, so just make sure that when you're applying the Cygor Brown, we're only applying it to the areas that are red and that are brown. Okay, so in the shoulder pads, into the red of the cloth, and again on all the leather work, it just gives it a bit of depth and texture. Okay, but again, I cannot emphasize enough, do not go straight from the pot with this, okay, because you'll just end up being just a very, very unnecessarily dark brown. You're just literally moving the paint around, just moving the paint around so that it sits ever so nicely. And if there's areas that you want to darken, you absolutely can do. You can make it dark with the Cygor Brown, but just build on it slowly. Okay, so really, really slowly. With the Cygor Brown, make sure it's thinned down. Okay, make sure it's thinned down, you know, 2 parts, 3 parts even, Lamian medium to Cygor Brown. Otherwise, you're just going to get, it will just go straight up like dark, dark brown, and that's not what you want. Okay, so just nice and loose with it all. If you get it on the spikes, you get it on the spikes, so what, don't worry. It's nice and thinned out. It will get taken out when we do the dry brush anyway. Okay, so just bear that in mind. But again, please also bear in mind that it needs to be thinned right down and just move it around. Take your time with it. You can see how much we've gotten done just from this anyway. Okay. Right, next up I've got my shyish purple that I'm going to add into the hair. That's my, again, just my theme that I've got going on. Again, shyish purple, Lamian medium. There. And then all I'm doing, I'm just adding that purple just into his hair, mixing that up to their base. Again, easy as that. Again, like I say, guys, you can do whatever colour you're gonna add to your geezer, to your war shaper. Again, just such a cool model. Honestly, this is just such a cool model. I don't know why Kroot aren't getting more love, because I'm absolutely loving how this geezer's turning out. Super cool. Super cool. Yep. And then obviously after that, I'm going to get the black. I'm going to get my black Templar. Again, black Templar. And again, we're just going to probably add that into that mix. To be honest with you, add that into that mix. Nice and light. Again, you don't want to be going straight from the pot. And then in he goes, just into there. Bit of a wet blend. Yeah. Nice. Cool. And like I say, a couple more layers just to really blend it in. Finally, we're going to add a little bit of depth to the skin colour of our Kroot shipper, and I'm going to add a bit of Terradon Turquoise. And again, this is a super light, watered down mix of Terradon Turquoise and Lamian medium. Again, super light, nothing wild. All I'm doing is I'm just literally going over the model again, just to kind of exaggerate that colour that he's, you know, he's not like the usual green, but there is that little, not green tint, but that, like that aged and wiser tint. Oh yeah, to him. All right, so that Space Wolf Grey, applying it as a really nice base for him. And now we're just adding a little bit of depth to it. And like I say, when we then apply the dry brush of the Xandri dust over the top, that will just really make him pop even more. All right, so just nice and light over the hands, over the legs and the face. Keep the brush nice and light. All right, and yeah, very much like a war tribe. Oh yeah, that's cracking up. I'm a big fan of that, I have to admit. You know what's great is you can make some of your other ones of your Kroot resemble that kind of same look, but I quite like the fact that he looks a bit older, and it just kind of separates him from the others a little bit, you know. Well, stupidly, I've not followed my own usual technique here. Right, we're gonna get our technical Agrellan Earth. Agrellan Earth, yeah, Agrellan Earth. And I'm just gonna just do our usual stuff, and I'm just gonna do the whole model. Again, I'm gonna actually paint the whole of the base in this Agrellan Earth. All right, I'm not gonna lie, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Even the rock, the whole thing, because we're gonna add our own stuff to it, and it will just create the mound that I want to create. All right, so like you say, whole of the model, get it all done, get it based, let it dry, and then we'll be hitting the dry brush and all the other good stuff that comes with the slap chop stuff. Right, there he is. So we have done the earth. We've had a bit of Agrax Earthshade. It is taking forever to dry, but we're going to be okay. We'll be okay. What we're going to do is we're going to get our Xandri dust and we're just going to apply it over the model. Okay. Usual sketch, guys. You know the routine with this. Just nice and light. And I'm talking a feathered touch with this thing. Okay. Don't be going in super hard. Okay, with this. Okay, get your dry brush. Okay, don't forget, take it off. Okay, as always, super light with this. Okay, it's better to have not a lot on the brush and not have enough on there than it is to go super heavy. Then we're going to start off with the back. Okay, and all we're going to do, like I say, just as always, super light all over the model, and we'll just start to see that slowly take shape. Okay, over the head, over his bristles of his hair, his face, his beak, yeah, all over the model. Remember, just you can make it as dark or as light as you want to, but again, just make sure that when you're doing it, you are literally feathered touch on this, guys. Okay, feathered touch. Okay, this does not need to have too much pressure. If you want to put pressure on it, you can, but you're going to get a much more of a dustier effect or a bit more of a rugged effect. Okay, but for me, I just literally just hold the brush at the end and just feather it along and just build. Okay, until you get the desired effect. All right, so as you can see there, we can already start to see this weathering in place. All right. Already see this weathering in place. Hopefully you guys can all see the effect that we've got. It's like I say, a nice dusty effect. It's all broken up quite nicely. Cloak looks really nice now. I think really got that desert vibe to him, and the bluish turquoisey skin. Oh, love that. Right, so next up we're going to just do a little bit with the eyes. So all I'm going to do first of all, I'm just going to get my Flesh Terrors red, grab my lime medium, and I want a small layer brush. Okay, small layer brush. So mix it in, 50-50 mix. It's nice and light, and all I'm going to do is again just around the eye areas. I'm just going to, doesn't need to be neat, just around the eyes, just kind of give it a bit of a reddish hue. Okay, just a little reddish hue around the eyes. Now, there we go, done. Next, we're going to take a little bit of white scar, just a little bit of white scar. I usually just put it on my thumb, in all fairness. Take that right off. And all I'm going to do is in the eye, just going to place just a little bit of white in the eye. Nothing crazy. A little bit of white in the eye. And then all I'm going to do is take that little bit of the red that we had before, and I'm just going to place that in the actual eye again, and that'll give it a nice little glow. All right. Next up, guys, we're going to add some of the silver work. So we've got our Iron Warriors base, and all we're going to do, oh dear, that used to be worked on. So Iron Warriors base, and again, all we're going to do, medium brush, really, to be honest with you. I tell you, this medium brush is so versatile. So versatile. So medium, what have we got there? Iron Warriors. So all we're going to do on his chest plate. So on the chest plate. Shoulder guard. Okay, on the shoulder guard. Okay, and all these little like triangle bits. The weapon system itself, so just all the kind of handling on the weapon system. these little triangle bits. Again, all the triangle bits on the cape. The blade of the Krull tri-blade, yeah, on there. And if you want to, you can just add a little bit in these circles here on the bow to give it a bit more of a mechanical feel. Okay, and then if you want to, on these sort of, it's just all the areas that you kind of want to add to make it just a little bit more refined. All right, so just add these into this bow, into there. And then again, on the blade, or sorry, on the handle of the blade up here, quite a raw, sparse weapon. And again, underneath there, you can see the blade. All right, that's the next part done. Right, with that done, the metal applied, what we're going to do now is you can either take Agrax Earthshade or Nuln Oil. For this guy, I'm going to use Nuln Oil. Okay, and all we're going to do, liquid talent from the pot. Liquid talent from the pot. And we're just going to, there you go. Oh, yeah. In the armor work, move it all around. All those areas that you painted metallic, all you're going to do is just throw this on there. If it gets in the model, hey, guess what? It's liquid talent. It will just sit in the it will just sit in there, and it won't cause any harm whatsoever. If anything, it will just add a bit more of a grim dark to your model. All right. So yeah, so in all those areas that you've just done with your metallics, just throw in some liquid talent, and that will just sit nicely in there. And like you say, if it goes on other parts of the model, honestly, with Nuln Oil or Agrax Earthshade, it isn't really going to do any harm whatsoever because of all the neutral colours that we've used in this. If anything, like I say, I'll even just do it on here. I'll just throw it all in there like that. It will just add a bit more of a darker look on that element there. Like I say, nothing wild, it just create a nice little shadow. Nice little raised bit there, beautiful. Oh, you'd love to see it. Agrax Earthshade, Nuln Oil, Agrax Earthshade, aka 2 pots of liquid talent. Perfect. Right, and then just we're going to do a little final highlight now. So Stormhost Silver, that will be, Stormhost Silver. I'll probably do it shaking it up a little bit if you want to. Stormhost Silver, that's better. So all we're going to use, actually, Stormhost Silver and a very slight dry brush. Again, just to get a nice bit of shine on that. And again, if you don't want to, you want to just leave it to be quite like murky and quite grim and dark. That's yeah, ideal. But I'm just going to add just a little bit, just literally just feather it out, just to kind of just add a little bit of battle wear almost. Doesn't need to be edged highlighted, just a little bit of battle wear on some of it. Okay, so on the blade, hasn't got to be clean, it's just got to have that little bit of, just a little bit of shine on it. This ain't no custodian guard. Same there, same there. You could add more on if you want to, but for me, I quite like the tarnish look. Oh yeah, cool. That was close. I just forgot that little bit there. So there he is. I've added a little sort of like highlights on there. All I'm going to do now, just finally, just we've done a lot of dry brushing, a lot of we've done a lot of dry brushing. Jeepers, get your words out done. We've done a lot of dry brushing, so I'm just taking my large dry brush and I'm just getting rid of any of the excess paint that might just be floating around. Okay, right, now I guess we'll skip to the part where he's all done on base, and yeah. Right, there he is, all done. Your Kroot Warshaper with like a blue face type thing, blue skin. Love it. I'm actually a big fan of this, I have to admit. Easy slap chop, easily done. Yeah, cool. Anyway, hopefully guys, you have found this video rather useful. If you have, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to say subscribe. The usual YouTube jargon, I'm not going to go into it because you're probably all sick to death of it all. But yes, hopefully you found this useful. If you have, please let me know. And what else you'd like to see in the Kroot faction focus. Yeah, alright guys, see you later. Bye.